What's up, you guys? So this is a very exciting video for me because I wanted to share something really special with you. My pregnancy journey is finally over. I had my little baby girl. She came December 31st, 2019, so the last day of the year, and it was so exciting. It was so smooth. My experience was amazing, even though I did have a C-section. So for that reason, I wanted to share with you guys my positive C-section experience. The reason why I wanted to share this with you guys is because when I found out I had to get a scheduled C-section because my baby was breech, I immediately ran to the internet and started searching positive C-section experiences because there's nothing I could do about having a C-section. This is just what my reality was gonna be. So I wanted to find some information out there that would lift my spirits, and honestly I was very disappointed. Everything I found was either pros and cons about getting a C-section, which was useless to me because I couldn't decide. I didn't have a decision to make. It was already made for me. And I found a lot of what I wish I would have known going into my C-section, and honestly both of those were really scary. Those videos talked about the pain and how hard the recovery is and every little thing that you're gonna feel and not feel and how to be ready for that, which is definitely helpful. But to me, I didn't want to know the nitty-gritty details of the surgery because any small detail would trigger me and I would be petrified to have a C-section. Honestly, I wouldn't sleep for days just thinking about the little small things that people would mention in their videos. So for my video, I decided I'm just gonna share the positives and everything that went amazing and well with my C-section. I am not gonna go into any details with the pain, the nitty-gritty. If you're looking to find out exactly what happens in a C-section and how to be ready for the pain and deal with all that, then this is not going to be the video for you. This is definitely going to be just me trying to share my positive story, so hopefully I can lift someone's spirits. And if you have to have a C-section, you're not that scared. Obviously I'm going to go into detail in this video and share how amazing my experience was. I should start from the beginning. So that is how I went into labor. The doctors did not want me to go into labor, obviously, because my baby was breech. So to them, me going into labor and having contractions was pretty much a waste of time. My doctor said he didn't want me having contractions and being in labor for hours because they know I'm gonna end up in a C-section anyway. But the day I gave birth, I actually went to the hospital for my NST. And that is something I would get twice a week for my gestational diabetes. But anyway, I went to the hospital the morning of December 31st. I went in at 9 a.m. and I started getting very intense contractions very close together. So the nurse immediately checked me to see if I was dilated. 3 centimeters dilated, which is a lot for someone that they don't want going into labor. Calls my doctor and he just immediately schedules a C-section. They called him around 10 o'clock and he was like, okay, so at 12 o'clock I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna do the C-section. So I called my boyfriend, ask my family to, you know, be ready. We were ready. Obviously we were ready for the moment, but you know, it wasn't scheduled until January 6th. So I thought I still had a whole week to prepare and, you know, plan, whatever. But as soon as they told me it was happening, I started feeling this sense of excitement, and I wasn't scared. I wasn't like nervous even. I was just so excited to know that I was gonna meet my little girl that day, and all the waiting was finally over. I know I'm gonna meet her in a couple hours, and I know this C-section is fast, and you know, I'm gonna not be pushing and being in labor for hours and hours. So that was really reassuring to me, knowing that literally I'm just gonna have her in my arms in about 2-3 hours max. I'm not gonna go through, you know, everything that comes with labor. My first son was a natural birth. It wasn't natural, it was vaginal birth. I definitely did have the epidural, but anyway, so that was a long process. Even though for a first-time mom it was fast, I still was in labor for 12 hours. The pushing was grueling. I was exhausted. I was hungry. You know, it's a whole different thing. So for the C-section, I knew it was just gonna be quick. And I finally get into the operating room and they get me all ready. And I will mention this, the spinal block, I found it to be much better than an epidural. Again, this is preference, but I just found it to be, the pain wise, I felt no pain, to be honest. It wasn't a whole big procedure where everything just feels so calm and prepared. Number one, the only thing I have to say about day number one is, since you are just fresh out of the C-section, you're fresh out of the surgery, this is the best day. You don't feel anything. Like, let me tell you, you need to take advantage of this day. So you feel good, you're not tired, nothing hurts, you're with your brand new baby. So it's like, this is the time focus on breastfeeding as much as you can, and just enjoy the moment and let it be. Let yourself not be in pain and feel happy and energetic. So day two is the hardest by far. Like I said, I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty pain details or what happens or what doesn't, but if you keep in mind that this is gonna be the hardest day of the whole recovery, then you're able to pull through. What I am gonna say is, everybody tells you, oh my gosh, you need to start walking, so you can recover faster. So in my opinion, I don't think it's necessary for you to start walking yet. What I did was basically try to get up from bed, and that is more than enough. Like, if you're able to get up from bed and sit on the chair, the nurses told me that was more than enough for day two. They did make me go to the bathroom, but it's not realistic for you to start walking on day two, at least not for me. My advice to you is, don't be hard on yourself. You are going to be able to recover 100%. Another important thing to mention for day two is you want to make sure you know the time that you're getting your medicine. And this is a tip that I grabbed from all of the research and the videos. This is very common. You do want to stay on top of your medication, because sometimes the nurses will see you sleeping and they don't want to wake you up. And I told them, please wake me up even if I'm asleep. They would offer me ibuprofen, and they would offer me something a little bit stronger. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but they kept alternating between those two. And I told them I want both at my exact times, and I kept track of them, so that way I could remind them. The nurses were super busy where I was at, and even though they were super on top of it, I would remind them, you know, it's time for my medication, or, you know, I feel a little bit better, can you help me get up? So you're the one that's going to be in charge here, at least in my situation. I wasn't relying 1000% on the nurses, because, you know, they have other patients, and even though they try to be on top of it and make you a priority, sometimes you're not. Especially if everything's well with you and baby, they kind of let you do your thing, which I appreciated. But that being said, you have to be on top of how you're feeling and your medication. They also offer you a gas relief and a stool softener, which I also recommend 1000% taking. Don't miss out on any of those doses either, because to me the hardest part of the recovery was releasing that gas, because you're just not able to. When you get a C-section, you are open, and when they close you up, there's gas and there's air that is trapped in your body. That's how the nurses explained it to me. So once you start releasing that gas, everything starts getting so much better. So day three, everything is awesome. You feel 1,000 times better. Getting through that second day is the hardest. So once you get past it, you feel great. On the third day, I will say the biggest tip for me to give you guys is, when you go to the bathroom, because at that point I want you to be able to be going to the bathroom by yourself. So once you go to the bathroom, make sure you're using that peri bottle that they'll give you, hopefully, clean yourself down there. Even though there's nothing happening in that area, you're not open, it doesn't hurt, you know, to go to the bathroom, like with a vaginal birth, you still are not able to reach and wipe yourself. Anytime I kind of like moved or wanted to reach to wipe, it was really painful, so it was just much easier for me to grab the peri bottle and clean that area, because you are going to be bleeding. So a peri bottle is still the best way to clean yourself down there. Don't even try to wipe. Literally, I just started wiping myself last week and it's been like 3 weeks, because the peri bottle just worked great. You want to make sure that it is dry, but again, the first couple days, I didn't even think of grabbing a toilet paper roll, to be honest. Apply pressure in your lower part of your stomach and kind of start pushing a little bit. Don't push. I mean, I don't even have to say this because the thought of pushing is, you know, won't even cross your mind at that point. But you do want to start pressing and releasing. The more pressure I would put in my stomach by day 3, the more I was able to get out. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't like I sit down, I press, and like, you know, things start coming out. But it was a slow process throughout the day. Every time I would go to the bathroom, I would do this. I would sit there and press my stomach and try to push a little bit at a time. So by the end of day 3, when I was released, I was able to release a lot of the gas and it felt just amazing. I can't even tell you guys. I know this is gross. I know it's like probably TMI, but to me, this was the most important part. Even when I was breastfeeding, so I was breastfeeding and my little girl would press my stomach, you know, because with her little body, and even that would trigger me to want to go to the bathroom and want to release. So as soon as I started breastfeeding, I would feel it and I would like have to stop and go to the bathroom and try and then come back. So, you know, you just have to be patient with this process and you have to keep trying until you're able to, because once you are able to, everything is going to change. You're going to feel 1,000 times better. So on that note, I also wanted to mention that it wasn't until day 4, which at this point I was already at home, I had been released from the hospital, I was able to actually have a bowel movement. I think it's because I just felt more comfortable doing it at home. I don't know if hospitals require you to have a bowel movement before they release you. At my hospital, my doctor didn't force me to, which I was so glad. And they also didn't force me to take a shower, because I did not want to take a shower at the hospital for many reasons. It wasn't until day 4 that I showered at home. I went to my mom's house to recover, so she's the one that helped me shower, because that is going to be something that you are going to need a lot of help with. For me, showering was a scary experience. I did not want to get in the shower because I thought, you know, the water would hurt my incision, which it didn't. After you poop, after you shower, everything is much better from there. Your recovery will only get better and easier. So I hope this video lifts your spirits if you have to have a C-section, and know that it's not bad at all. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.